Good morning, good morning. It's Friday. Yesterday I'm trying to do a morning motivation video every morning during the week while I'm on my way to work, because I'm sat in my car. I might as well be doing something. Before I used to be like learning and listening to other people's stuff and that, and I just thought maybe this is my time, because I love the mornings. It's the best time of the day for me, and it sets up your whole day. So yeah, yesterday I tried to do one. I tried to do it on Instagram Live using the fancy effects, but by the time I got to work and went to upload it, it vanished. So you know what, I thought, stuff it, man. I thought, who cares about the pretty effects? It's all about the message for me. So I'm just going to go back old school. I'm just going to record it, get to work, upload it. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, Dick's your second cousin. So there you go. So yesterday I was talking about goal setting, and I was like, it was the day before I spoke about how to get yourself out of a rut. So like using gratitude as a tool to help you get yourself out of a negative funk by being grateful for what you've already got. The next stage is setting yourself some goals. So I'm going to take this hood off because it keeps getting in my way. So setting goals. Now I'll tell you the way that I set goals, and the only reason I'm telling you the way I do is because it's worked for me. So the way I set goals, I set myself a vision of how I want to be, how I want my life to be, what kind of person I want to be, what do I want to be doing, what do I value. And you have to take time with this, because you really have to have a good think about what it is that you want. And I know like a lot of people will say, I don't know what I want. Well, if you don't know what you want, just start with, how do you see yourself when you're 60? Do you yourself seeing you being stuck in? Do you see yourself being bedridden because you're so unhealthy or unfit, or getting any mad diseases because of your health and your fitness? I know that people get diseases. I know people get accidents. That's not their fault, but that's not in your control. So you can't dwell on things like that, and you can't use that as an excuse. Well, I might stay healthy all my life and then get hit by a bus, or drop down dead, or get cancer or something. Because I hear people say that, and that justifies the reason why them smashing 20 shots a night and smoking 100 fags a day. You know what I mean? So I know people say you got to live your life, and that is absolutely 100% true. And I used to think giving up certain things I wouldn't be happy. But if anything, it's made me happier. And I know it sounds cliche, but I feel happier that I don't drink, that I don't stay out all night. I just feel a much better person. So try it, you might like it. So what I do, I start with I wouldn't like to call it long-term goals. I don't know what to call it. It's more like my compass for life, say, yeah. So this is what guides what I set my goals, what goals I set, because I've got my overarching compass, let's call it that, and then I've got my long-term goals, and then I've got my mid-term goals, and then I've got my short-term goals. So your compass is, where do you see yourself being for the rest of your life? So mine are, my goals are: live to a happy and healthy 100 years old, train and teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu all my life, produce and perform music all my life, and live off the grid, and be a great role model for my family, friends, etc. So they're like 5 things that I aspire to be able to do for the rest of my life. These things might change. Don't get me wrong, nothing's set in stone, and you shouldn't hold on to things that you don't really want. You know what I mean? If you get to a point in life where you go, that ain't really me, I'm going to drop it. get rid of it. Focus on something else. Focus on things that you do want. But what I want to say is, don't give up when things get hard. You know what I mean? Because setting goals is brilliant. Setting goals is exciting, and you're motivated for the first 15 days. You'll do it every day. Well, some people will do it for 2 or 3 days, 5 days, whatever. And then the excitement will wane, and they'll think, oh, maybe this isn't for me and that. But what I'll say to you is, maybe you've just hit a roadblock or a hurdle. Now, you want to try and stick with something past them points. And the more you stick with it past them points and overcome certain things, the easier it will become, and the more reward you'll start feeling. And you'll think, actually, I can do this. And that's where the discipline comes in and the reward comes in. It's delayed gratification. It's martial arts is the best form of example. You know, it's putting in the work and getting the belt at the end of it. And you know, I know it's not all about belts, and you shouldn't train just for belts and that, but it definitely helps you stay motivated, especially in jiu-jitsu, because getting your belts is so difficult. It's not easy to get to get promoted. Tell you what is though, showing up, just turning up, just show up. You might not be very good, but if you keep turning up, you will get better and you will get promoted. And that's the moral of like martial arts progression, in my opinion. So I'm digressing, sorry. So yeah, try and stick something out for 30 days at the minimum. Set your goal. So what I've done, I've got my overarching life goals there, and then I'll step backwards and I'll look at what I need to achieve in 5 to 10 years to work my way towards that. So my next stage down is I look at them overarching things. I go, I want to live to a happy and healthy 100 years old. What have I got to do with that? Then my next one is be in better shape in my 40s than my 30s. Still not very, very specific, but it is definitely more specific than live to a happy, healthy 100. So it's be in better shape in my 40s than my 30s. You see what I'm doing here? The next one would be, train and teach jiu-jitsu for the rest of my life. That will be achieving my black belt by the age of 45. So I've been a bit more specific with that one. I've gave myself a bit more of a tangible goal, time frame, what I want, and I think it's doable. It's got to be, you know, you got to believe that it's doable. Don't, you know, you'll think that you won't be able to do things in a certain amount of time. So, but push, you know, give yourself a bit more of a challenge rather than saying, I'm going to be a black belt in 20 years. When you hear people say it's in 10 years, say you'll do it in 9 years. You know, give yourself a little push, a little motivation, but be accountable for your goals. Don't just make them and not do them and go, it don't matter. You know, be more accountable to yourself. Maybe get some people to help you along the way. Get some friends, tell some friends what you want to do, you know, and do it that way. But I just think be accountable to yourself. You don't need to. The only people that you're kidding is yourself. If you don't show up all the when you say you're gonna. And I went through a period of not doing that. I'd say things that I was gonna do and I wouldn't do them, and that reflected in my business. And one time in my business, I remember booking an event, and I was that like fucking. This was like right towards the end. This was when I was just like a fucking mess, and I just never showed up to the event. You know what I mean? I never put any work into it, and like the artist got there, and it was like, where am I? You know what I mean? But you live and you learn. That's all I'm going to say about that. That probably damaged my reputation wholly, but it's what you work on towards next, isn't it? Than what you do, what you've done. So anyway, so the jiu-jitsu one, practice and produce and perform music all my life. So the next one on that is make a living from my music career. And that's a broad stroke as well, because I've got lots of options there. I've got the music, I've got gigging, I've got promoting events, I've got mixing and mastering other people's music. There's all kinds of things, doing artwork for people. There's ways and means I can make money from my creative side. So I've made that broad stroke again, but like by the time I'm 45 to 50 time frame. And then what was the other one? Live off grid. So living off grid, for me, first thing I've got to do, well, one of the steps I've got to do there is become debt free. So I got in a lot of debt when I was younger. Gold credit cards, going to Ibiza, all that jazz, thinking I was a playboy. When I was young, 18, 19, 20, in my 20s, just absolutely just got myself in a rut there. But I'm getting out of it, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm gradually getting out of it. It's like I was looking at, so some people go hardcore and they just go, they focus on one thing, just get out of debt, and they live like a monk and they don't do anything. Whereas I've done it the other way. I've like to set myself up something manageable where I can still live my life and still work towards my other goals. So I'm like that. But I reckon in the next 2 or 3 years I'll be debt free. I've made some sacrifices in my life, made some changes to help me get there. So that's becoming debt free by the age of 45. So I've given myself 7 years there. You know what I mean? So that's a long time, but I reckon I can do it in 3. So I should really push that goal. But if anything, that gives me enough time for when I buy my land. I want to buy some land to pay that off as well. So it might work out in that way, but I want to be completely debt free by the age of 45. And the other one is be a good role model to my family and friends. Now, that's a difficult one to put anything on it, but you can, like, the thing I've put is take my family on holiday 3 times a year. You know what I mean? So that's like focusing on my family, what I'm going to do to, because, you know, I'm busy. I am busy. Like I spoke to my partner yesterday, and I said to her, like, you know, I feel like I've been neglecting you and that, because I've been thinking, you know, what areas of my life, you know, I'm going well, and what areas do I think that I'm lacking? And I said to her last night, I think I'm neglecting you because I'm working so heavily on my music, and then any other spare time I'm with my daughter, because she's very, like, you know, she's a kid, she's demanding, wants to see me. And she said, no, I don't think you have been. And I think, well, I have been. So I said, like, tonight, I said, oh, you know, I'm gonna cook you dinner, you know, I'm gonna give you a bit of a back massage and all that sort of stuff, and you know what I mean? I'm just gonna go home and pamper her and just look after her a bit tonight, because I've just thought to myself, you know, you can always be working and being a better person. So these like goals and that help you have a little bit of an outlook on where, when you look at yourself, where do you want to be, and how do you think you're getting on. So that's that. And then I break them down into even shorter goals. So I'm going for things like what I want to do for this year, then based off them. So I'm a long term, so like the health one, I've basically put that I want to be keeping myself fit. I want to be eating nothing but whole foods, minimal cheat, like I've one cheat. I'm eating absolutely like a saint Monday to Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I just do what I like. That's my method. So you know, there's little things like that I put in, that I'm going to eat perfectly for the weeks, and I'm going to keep myself fit and healthy, ready for when jiu-jitsu opens back up. And then the jiu-jitsu one's like a simple one: train jiu-jitsu 2 times a week, or, you know, because at the minute I can't exactly say I want to get my 4th stripe in my blue belt until we go back. So, you know, I'm just saying I want to train twice a week. I can do that at home. So that's something I've set myself a little challenge for, training twice a week. The music one is making 12 tracks. Make 12 tracks, get them done to the best of my ability, and start sending. And once I've got that bulk of 12, sending them out to record labels. And then yeah, so listen, I'm coming up to 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut this, but you get the gist. I want you to get up, I want you to get motivated, do some gratitude, get yourself in a better place of mind, think about your goals, start write them down every day. I don't exactly write them down every day, but I do go every couple of days. Some days I'll just do it every day for like weeks, and then I'll just have a little bit of a break off it, and then I'll come back to it. But what I'm trying to say is, get your ass in gear, because I'm going now. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Peace.